Godzilla. They don't say that in this movie. Godzilla. Like they did in the original Godzilla movie.
The 90s one.
No, the one they just made there.
No.
That was the big liner. Godzilla. When he says it like that, everyone wanted to hear that. Let them bite. Godzilla.
Okay then.
In this one, it's Godzilla! In this movie. At least they do it a little bit more. So, there's a lot of rumors about this movie. About how it's kicking Hollywood's butt and stuff like that. It was made for... Some reports are 15 million. Some reports now are saying 31 million.
Okay, but very low money.
Very low money compared to the 200 million that they made Kong versus Godzilla, for instance. Or Godzilla King of the Monsters. And you know what's missing from this movie compared to the others? All the flashy pink coloring CGI.
What do you mean?
It's not in this movie.
If you go coloring?
Go look at Godzilla versus Kong and all the green screen haze that's in the background of all the fighting and all that. Now, the Godzilla monster in this doesn't look as good as the monster in Godzilla.
No, but it suffices.
But it's more traditional to Godzilla. He's not running at 100 miles an hour. He's a giant creature stomping. Mm-hmm. Right?
Oh yeah, like I saw a trailer for the next Godzilla.
Oh yeah,
and he's running like a jogger.
Yeah, that took me right out of the movie. I said, "What is this?" When I saw that, he's ahead of Kong.
I expected him to like leap over a rock.
Yeah. Parkour! Oh! What the heck? But
that's hilarious.
This was very traditional.
So the plot of the movie. Okay, starts in 1945.
Yeah, we're just finished World War II.
Yeah, and the main hero of our story is an ex-kamikaze pilot who didn't succeed.
Well, he was a coward.
They called him a coward.
No, he was a coward. He could not shoot when called upon to shoot.
Yeah. And he was the first one to see the Godzilla. Mm-hmm. And before he actually grew to the size he is. Yeah. He was a large dinosaur kind of creature at the time, which is part of the Godzilla history. Right?
Well, and the Godzilla is a result of all the bombs that the nuclear
I don't know the history.
Fallout.
I don't know if he's an ancient creature or if he was a result of the radiation from whatever. But I have something deep to say about this movie.
Do it. I want to hear it.
Godzilla lately has been about, a monster comes up, he's battling other monsters, or he's
saving the day.
He's a good creature. But this one wasn't even a Godzilla movie at all.
No, this was more of a person.
This was
community movie.
This was a man who had trauma and guilt, PTSD from his dereliction of duty, and Godzilla itself wasn't a monster. Godzilla was the collective PTSD and trauma of the two bombs being dropped. And the society is reliving all of the chaos of the place being leveled. Because when the monster shows up, it's just like an atom bomb goes off. All of the buildings are exploded in the way a bomb would have done. And they can't get past it until the civilians say, screw the government, they let us down, we don't trust them, we have to move on ourselves. And so they take it upon themselves to fix the situation, and only then can they move on from their PTSD. And it mirrors his story of getting past his trauma and moving on with family life. This was not a Godzilla movie at all. Godzilla just represented the bombs.
Right. Yeah. No, you know what? I hear you, and I feel you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And that's what I enjoyed about this movie, because it was a personal movie. It was about family and trauma, and not about monsters kicking butt in some kind of fantasy land.
Right. They did take a big different direction with this movie as compared to other Godzilla movies. Now I want to hear what Don has to say, because he's a huge Godzilla fan.
I am. I own them all all the old ones, Godzilla's Son of Godzilla, all this other
You
stuff.
probably watch each one 7 times a year.
At least.
No, but I watch them a lot. I do. And we're not talking about the new Godzillas. I'm talking about the campy old Godzillas. What I liked about this film is that they acted their butts off in this movie. Like, normally we go, oh my god, why are we cutting back to the humans again? And not watching the monster. We're here to see Godzilla. In this one, we want to see what's happening with the humans in this. Like, we can see the pain and the turmoil. Like, when he gets saved by his wife there at that one point, and he walks out and he realizes that she just sacrificed him, and his scream there, you can feel that. You don't get that in the North American films at all. It's like, when they come out, it's like, oh no, Padame's dead. I'll be evil and kill the Padawans. I don't know. Like, I don't understand. But one of the scenes, this is all like in subtitles, right? But one scene really got to me that proves the acting quality and good direction is that at one point, the older woman who's looking after the kid, she gets that letter and she looks at it, and you could tell there's something in the letter that's shocking to her. And then at the end of the movie, he shows up and she goes up to him and she hands him that letter, and then she just like that. No words are spoken, but you see the emotion in that in her and him, his shock of reading that, and then you find out why after. I'm not going to tell you to spoil it, but the acting just beats all the hell out of anything I've seen coming from any Godzilla movie from Hollywood or any monster movie like that.
From any movie in Hollywood lately.
Like just the ending scene actually brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
Like I'm wiping them away. Like is your war finally over? Like, can you finally move on from all of this stuff? And like that was pretty emotional. So,
and it wasn't overly done. Like, it wasn't this big dramatic dialogue scene or anything.
So while we had an epic film with this big dinosaur who's wreaking havoc in a city, crushing buildings and stuff like that, it was still a personal story where we got to feel emotion.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, do you think there was enough Godzilla?
I think they had the right amount of Godzilla to be the metaphor that it was supposed to be.
Right.
And they didn't go beyond that and rely on spectacle instead of story.
Okay, that's fair.
And they also made Godzilla terrifying in, like he's a threat in this movie. Right?
Yeah, he's not some benevolent creature trying to save the day for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll save you from Kong.
Yeah.
Like, they're all saying they're out there in the middle of the water, and they're going, there's a destroyed destroyer in front of them, and they're in these smaller boats, and they're going, why'd they send us? And then the guy says, we're going to do it. We're all that's here, blah, blah, blah. And then the Godzilla comes up and destroys one of the boats and say, all right, change my mind. We're getting out of here. Like, yeah, that's what would happen in real life. Like, it was comical at the time, but it was serious at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I don't know, like, I've seen all the thumbnails on YouTube saying, oh, yay, Godzilla Minus One. And I went into it saying, you know, I'm not a huge Godzilla fan, and I think being a low-budget thing, this is going to be kind of lame, but they want to pump it up because it's not Disney or something like that.
Yeah.
But I thought this was a huge success.
It was an entertaining film.
Yeah.
And I think they did well with what with the story they were trying to convey.
It was a real movie. This is what movies should be.
Yep. And everyone was allowed to be somebody. They took a topic like kamikaze pilot and made it like interesting and believable, and they didn't send us a message about it, and then it was just a story. And that's what it was really good. And Godzilla was a Godzilla movie. Godzilla Minus One was all about the characters. And Godzilla was kind of like the background of this event that's happening, as opposed to it's the main thing. And we all got to work together to figure out how to kill. No. It's around an event. So, yeah, I really enjoyed the movie.
Then we're all looking forward to Godzilla Minus 2.
-2.
+1.
Now, this is on Apple TV, and it is also in Japanese with subtitles. Okay, so I don't know if you can do that. I didn't think I was going to be into it because my reading subtitles days are gone, but this was so easy to read.
Yeah. And you didn't even need to read it. You could still
you could
get
see it.
the feeling.
Yeah, well, you still need to.
But I mean, you know what I mean. Like,
But it was easy
the
to do
emotion. You got the emotion. You know, you didn't have to read every word. You knew what was going on the screen.
Yeah.
So,
And it's in some theaters, limited release, so you can see it in theaters, but not here in Canada. From where there was nothing in Ottawa that I could find is in the theater part of it.
So while I didn't get to do that movies that I liked and disliked this year, I think this would probably be on my list
Yeah.
because this was such a nice surprise.
yeah, I wasn't expecting much from it because it's another Godzilla movie, but it surprised. It was good.
Yeah. Had it not had the acting in it, I would have said, "Oh, this is campy," because Godzilla would. If you just looked at Godzilla by himself walking, like, "Oh, campy," blah blah blah. But then you throw in the acting and how great the story was.
Well, I mean,
that's what made the movie.
Not a lot of people know this, but if you take out the acting, it's not a movie.
You better tell Hollywood that.
That's something. Maybe you could teach them a lesson.
I'll write a letter.
You know what? If you don't film it, it's
not a movie.
it's much easier on the eyes.
Anyway, it's a recommend from all three of us, I think.
Godzilla Minus One. Even if you're not into monster Godzilla movies, you might want to check it out because the story and the acting is really first rate.